Hi, please let me know when you see the computer screen.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay. So let's start with today's attendance. Yes. We'll do the same trick. The first person will call the second person. Okay. Are you ready? Yes. Abhinav Iyer.
Present, sir.
So here you have to call the other person.
Okay. Abhinav Sharma.
Present, sir. Ajitanda.
Ajay. Ajay not there. Okay. Alia. Not there. Animesh.
Present, sir.
Okay. Next person.
Ansh,
Ansh. Arushi Shinde. Okay. I'll add you, Arushi, in the list. For now, I'll add you at the last. Yesterday you were not present, Arushi. Okay, fine. No problem. Arushi, how much rating do you give from
So
1 to 5?
3.5. So
Okay. And which is the difficult topic which you feel in
so
Excel?
not sure, sir, but it could be like I haven't revised anything yet about Excel as it was in first semester and second semester.
Yeah, but still, whatever you have learnt in the semester one, second, anything do you remember or you
No,
remember
so I'll
nothing?
have to revise. So that's it.
Okay, no issue. Anyways, I'll be starting with the basics. So there will be a revision for you. So Ansh, is Ansh there? Okay, I'll add your names. Let's do like this. Let's finish the. No, your name is there. It's an alphabetical order basically. So we will come to that name. Okay. So Ansh is there. Aryan.
yes, sir.
Yeah. Please call the next person.
Uh, Darshan,
Present, sir. Devansh.
Next. Devansh not there. Okay. Dikshit.
Present, sir.
Drashti.
Present, sir.
Gunawant. No, Gunavant is not there. Harshida, not there. Ishika,
Present sir. Just.
Jas, then Jash Datani, Jash, no. Julie, is Julie there? Kinjal, Kitij,
Present, sir. Matiha.
Present. Mansi.
Mansi, no. I'll ask only 2 times. If there is no reply, I'll mark no. Nikhil,
Present, sir. Palak.
Palak, no. Paraj, Ranvi, Yanshu,
Present, sir.
Rachita, Rishika, Rohil,
Present, sir.
Sabyasachi, Sahil, Sahil Shah, Samyak, not there.
Present,
Sanida,
sir.
okay. Sayali,
Present, sir.
Shreya, Simran, Rikshit,
Present, sir.
Tushar,
Present, sir.
yeah, and the last is Arushi. Anyone missing here? Anyone's name is missing here? No? Okay, good. Let's see what percentage of yeses are there and what percentage of no are there. Okay, so this is which column? C column. This is H column. Just give me 2 minutes. By the time, can you open the Excel, just a blank Excel in your computers? Are you all on the computers or anyone is using mobile phone? Yes? Hello? Okay. I think in case of tabs and mobile phones, you have Google Sheets. In that you can practice, or there is one application WPS Office which you can download, which is free to use. I'll write in the chat box or Google Sheet. Yes, these applications are free to use. Why? 46% are present and 54% are absent. I think yesterday was good. 61% people were present, but today only 46% are present. No issues. Okay, so we have completed our attendance part. Now let's move on to the basic, very basic.
Sir, sorry to interrupt. Would you please mark me present?
Your name, please, Julie.
Really, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome, welcome. So we have 49% present. Just 1% short for 50% of the class. Okay. So let's start with a blank Excel for now. So do you have any idea about Word, Excel, PowerPoint? What is the difference between the three applications? Anyone?
Yes, sir, we know the basics of Excel.
Basics of Excel is fine, but what is the difference between the three applications? These three applications are used every day. You know, tomorrow if you do any business or any job or any kind of service you will give to the client, you will use these three applications on your daily basis. So any idea about these three applications? Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft PowerPoint, Outlook. What is the difference? Any idea?
Word is used to create documents and mainly textual work, and Excel is used to do calculations and data management and all that work, and PowerPoint is used to create presentations, and Outlook is a mailing service.
Okay, thank you. So you mean to say I cannot manage the data in the Word? Can I manage the data in the Word?
No, these are the predominant uses. You can do all this in Word also.
Okay, nice. I'm happy that at least you know the difference between the four applications. Of course, there is one more application called as MS Access, which is also used to store the data, and it uses the queries and the report designer to make the reports. Okay. So in Excel, the file becomes heavy if there is a large data, and in Access, you can store up to 2 GB of data. Okay. And after 2 GB, there is one more application which is SQL. I hope you have heard these names, right? So in SQL, you can store more data, and Oracle, which has some more limit of data. Okay. So currently we will focus on Excel. So I have made my own sheet here. which I'll share with you later on. Yeah. So Excel is basically used for calculations and the making of pivots, graphs, data management, classification of the data, and as well as you can do your analysis and make some strategies as per the graph, right? So in Excel, the rows means the horizontal rows. Rows are horizontal and columns are vertical, right? Am I correct? Hello? I need your interaction, students. At least one student should come up and speak. One from girl, one from boy. So that, yeah, so that I am also clear that you are hearing me, listening me correctly. So rows means the horizontal rows and vertical are the columns. Okay. I'll give you an example that if I go on a website, I fill up a form. Okay. So when I submit the form, what happens? What happens when I submit that particular form? Yes, anyone? Hello? Hello, anyone can answer.
Your data is received by the person who has created the form.
Okay. Data is received like how? How will be the data? How will that other person receive the data?
Usually in Google Forms, it comes in Google Sheets.
Mhm. Or in the email, right?
Yes.
In the email. Can you give me an example of a form in which the data is received in the email? Any form. I'm sure you have filled that form many times. I can tell you the name also.
Whenever you sign in or sign up to a new account of any application, they ask
Mhm.
for verification. So they send a verification email. I think that's what you're talking about.
Okay, that is one kind of form. Second is a contact form, help and support. I'm sure everyone has filled a contact form on any website, right? Wherever you have to contact the customer care, correct? So whenever I fill a contact form, the data gets stored. The data comes in the email also, as well as it gets stored on their server. And also the registration form. So what is the format of the backend? Right, the form is the front end, but the data which gets stored in any kind of format in the backend is stored in Excel or whatever application that website is linked to. Currently, we are focusing on Excel. So Excel, the data is stored in the format of rows and columns, right? As you can see, I have made a table here. So the form is basically a vertical format, right? Which has the labels and the text boxes where you can input your data. But that data, when you submit, it gets stored in the format of rows and columns in the backend. Okay. Any questions so far? Okay. So what can you do with this data? You don't have any questions? I have couple of questions for you. What can you do with this data? Why there is a need to store the data? Yes, anyone? Yes, subscribing to a newsletter is one, but what more? You're subscribing to a newsletter. I only need an email ID to send you a newsletter of my company, right? What will I do with this first name, last name, ID number, phone number? Why there is a need to store the data? Anyone? Any student can come up and just talk. Okay. It is good. Basically, you're writing on the chat box, but it will be more better if you can just come up and talk if your mic is proper. Otherwise, I have to keep switching the windows from Excel to Chrome, from Chrome to Excel. Okay, data processing is fine. Easily referred back for future use is fine. Good. Then it can be used for analysis and reports, right? We can do the calculations in the data, right? We can use that data, that graphs, that charts in the PowerPoint presentations, right? In our seminars, right? And decision making also, we can define our strategies and do the planning on that particular data on the graphs. So you have understood this screen? Any questions on this particular screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So the second is I've made a sample data here. If you want, you can type your own data along with me. I have taken ID number, name, subject, score, grade. Okay. So currently, let me tell you, students, that the first row is normally a header in the Excel. Okay. As you have header and footer. So anyone can please explain me what is a header and footer? Normally in all the applications we have header and footers. Yes. Anyone can tell me what is a header and footer?
Header is usually uh, text at the start of the page, at the top of the page, and
Okay.
footer is text at the bottom of the
Okay. And footer?
text at the bottom of the page.
Okay. So if I have 10 pages, then I have to put 10 headers or 10 footers, 10
Yeah,
different headers and 10 different footers.
not different. It could be the same.
Correct. Headers and footers are common for all the document, all the pages in the document, right? Similarly, in Excel, the first row is a header. If there is anything, you know, you cannot do any calculations in the first row. Why? I'll tell you. Because if you make any pivot or any chart or any graph, or even if you put any formula, it will catch the header. Okay, the header names. So the first row is always the header. That is a rule of Excel. Then after that, you can put any data below that. So I have put ID numbers here, sample 1001, 1002, 3, 4. then some names, then the subjects and the score and grades. Okay. Now I have used a sum formula here. You can see sum D2 to D6. Now what is D2 to D6? It is a range. Range of what? Range of my data. Currently, I have only 5 rows from 2 to 6. So I have given D2 to D6. And what does sum do? Anyone?
Adds up the value in the range. Adds up all the values.
Your voice is not very clear, Rishika.
It adds
Mm.
up all the values in the range.
Okay, you mean the total, right?
Yeah.
Okay, exactly. The sum gives the total, it adds up all the values. So 94, 20, 15, 95, 50 is 274. If I change the number here, then the sum will change. If I say 30, it will come as 284 automatically. Okay, but my range is D2 to D6. So if I type anything here in D7, it also gets calculated automatically. Why? Because that this particular row and the formula is in the same column. That is why it is catching. If I put this formula in some other column, it will not catch. Understood? Okay, the next formula is count. Count D2 to D7. Now see, the range is changed automatically because there is some value here. So let me change back to D6. Okay. So count D2 to D6. Now what does count do? Anyone here except Rishika, because Rishika has already answered twice.
Counts the number of objects in that row, or like in the set of the selected rows or columns.
Okay, good. So your count is 5, which means I have marks or score or points, you can say, of 5 students. Okay. Then
Sir,
average. Yes.
sir. Actually, we know all this basic stuff. So could you go a little faster?
Okay, you know the average and everything, minimum, maximum.
Yeah, all the basic things of
Okay.
Excel.
Okay, that's good. Because many of the students told me that they have forgotten the basics. I'm just doing a revision. No issues. If you know, it's well and good. So on basis of this data, I've made a chart, a graph. Okay, see, you can see the data which I have copied from there here is the same, or there will be a minor difference. So how can you create a chart? Just select the data, go to insert, and insert, you have a chart. Different types of charts here. Pie chart, bar chart, column chart, area chart, whatever different types of charts you want, you have it here. You have to choose your own chart design and just click on create chart and you will get your chart here. Now this is a simple chart. I have made one chart here, which is a bar chart here, and it shows your points, marks, your subjects, and the name. Okay, this you can try out in your Excel sheet. Fine. Any questions here? Clear about how to make a chart?
Yes, sir. Please
Yes, sir.
continue.
Okay. See, second is a pie chart. As I told you, there are different designs. So this is a bar chart, this is a pie chart. Okay, the method is the same. Just select the data, go to insert and choose your own chart and you will get the data. Even you can choose 2 columns or 3 columns like this by pressing Control key for the chart. See, this is a bar chart, this is a pie chart, and the difference between the two. Okay, so I made a pivot here. Basically, the data is the same, and here is the pivot. The same thing, insert, pivot table, sheet, new worksheet or existing worksheet. If it is existing worksheet, I will choose the cell where I want to insert the worksheet. I'll just select the column name, row labels, column labels like this. Whatever score I want to give here, rows and columns here, as well as I can put the score in the values, sum or count, right? I can get here. So this is a short example of the pivot. Same thing I can do with the formulas which I had showed you in the first sheet. Okay. And from the pivot, I can make a graph. So this is the connection, students. One is the data, which you have to type it manually. Second is from the data, you make a pivot. Third is from the pivot, you make a graph. Okay, understood? In the pivot, the data comes automatically as per the formula you choose here, sum, count, average, maximum, minimum, whatever formula you choose in the pivot, it comes automatically. The calculations comes automatically. Okay, students, any question on this particular part on the pivot? I have shown you an easy trick how to make a pivot, how to make a graph. This is the very shortest and the quickest and easiest way. Just select the data, make the pivot and make the graph. And all the options are in the insert tab. Okay. Now next is conditional formatting. Anyone has any idea about the conditional formatting? Yes. Yes, anyone? Do you know about conditional formatting in Excel?
Yes, sir.
What exactly is conditional formatting? Can you tell me? You can be quick if you respond quick.
It's you get an output based on certain conditions that you put in. For
Okay.
example, if you want to color the cells that have grades lower than 20%, and you can
Mhm.
put in a condition and you can color the cells.
Okay. So how do I put in the conditions and how do I color the cells? Like, do I use the paint or do I use a brush?
Normally you use
Or
conditional
do
formatting.
Okay, that's nice. So you just select the particular column or some cells here or a region and just go to conditional formatting, manage rules or a new rule you can say if I want a new rule. But currently I have already rules on my data. So here I have written here if the cell value is more than 80, color it to a pink color. If the cell value is less than 80, it's a yellow color. And if they are duplicate values, means one or more. Okay, so color it red. So here you have 45, 45, 45 are duplicates, 50, 50, 50. So it's red in color, two or more values. Okay, rest are in yellow and rest are in pink color. So this is the result of the conditional formatting, which is also used for planning and strategies. Okay. I think some of the students did not know, have had some doubt in conditional formatting. Okay. Then this is a data validation here. Data validation means that any kind of content which you put in the particular cell or a particular column meets the condition which you specify. For example, a mobile number. Mobile number is always 10 digits. Am I correct? Indian mobile number is 10 digits. Abroad mobile number may be more than 10. Okay. Then email ID. Do you know the condition of the email ID? A basic email ID. Anyone?
It has @ and a dot.
Right. The same check I can do here. See, I have written a formula here. If error, then give invalid or missing. And if error is not there, then find the @ in F10. Right. F10 is what? This. Find @. Is it true or false? F10 is this, p@p.com. I have written any email ID. So if I remove the @, see, it will give me. It will say invalid mail ID if I remove @. Or even if I remove a dot, it will tell me invalid email ID. So this is basically a data validation. Some conditions which you specify must be proven by that data. Okay, so what can be those conditions? One is the length of the data, right? Second is some conditions like in email ID, in phone number, in name also you can have the conditions, right? What can be the conditions in the name? Anyone? Anyone? What do you think? There might be a condition in the name. I can say my name is Bible. Can I say like that? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, can I say like that? My name is Bible. Is it correct?
Oh,
Can I
sir.
say my name is Camel? No, right? So the name condition is basically I cannot use any pronouns, right? Or any animals' names or any company name. Name is a personal name, correct? That is the condition. Okay, lookups. Some student had issues in the lookup, right? So in lookup, we have two things. One is vertical lookup and one is horizontal lookup. If you see here, the data is the same. Okay. So vertical lookup means lookup. For example, I'm looking up Sam. So we look up G2 is a SAM, right? And I want to return, I want to look up in the range from B to E, and I want to return the grade, right? 3. It returns the grade, and 0 is the true value. Okay, so it is returning 15. So basically SAM is here 1, 2, 3. Yes, it is returning the score. And here in the grade, I am returning the fourth column. Basically, VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP are on the indices of the column, right? I am looking up name here and returning the third column, which is the score. I am looking up the name here and returning the fourth column, which is a grade. And it's a vertical lookup. Why vertical lookup? Because the data is in the vertical format. So VLOOKUP. HLOOKUP. HLOOKUP is same as VLOOKUP, but it is for the horizontal format. Here you can see the data is in the horizontal format. Okay, data is the same more or less, but the format is horizontal. Okay, so HLOOKUP, the same funda. HLOOKUP is here G12, the value which is SAM, then the range B11 to E14, and the return column or the return row. Okay, any questions, any doubts on HLOOKUP and VLOOKUP here? Yes. Because not to worry, I'm taking
Yes,
1 hour of basics. So still we have time for 1 hour to complete more
yes, sir.
20. Yeah. So any doubts in any of these things, you can just feel free to ask me. Okay. So these are the couple of questions here, which I can share the file with you and you can do your revision with this. Basically, what are the rows and columns? You can be quick on this part. So what are the rows and columns? Just be quick in one line. Hello?
Rows are the horizontal lines and columns are the vertical ones.
Okay, thank you. What is the formula for the sum and count? Sum divided by count gives what?
Average.
Right. Which chart will be a priority? Pie chart or a bar chart? If I give you a data, I'll tell you I want the chart to be made. Which chart will you use? Will you use a pie chart or a bar chart? Suppose you are.
Depends on
Mhm.
depends on the data, correct? But normally a bar chart, maybe.
Okay, bar chart is good to use, but if you are using percentages, I will suggest a pie chart. Why pie chart? Because it is in a circle format and it will divide each percentage appropriately, right? In that particular circle radius. Then what is a H lookup and V lookup basically? H lookup is vertical lookup and V lookup is a horizontal lookup. Am I right?
No, vice versa.
Okay. So what is a pivot? What is difference between a pivot and the conditional formatting? Can I get duplicates in the pivot? Yes. See, all these questions are being asked, when you go for an interview in the Excel. These are tricky questions because my work is daily in Excel in my company. So I know how tough these people ask the questions. They are very tricky. I don't know if you have seen these questions or might have heard in the past, but in the future, if you go for any interviews or even if you take any interview, if you're a financial expert, you will face all these questions in your career, right? What we store in the database, which is the data from the online website. How is the priority of conditional formatting? High to low. Okay, always remember when you do the conditional formatting, the conditions priority are always from the top to bottom. It will not take any condition which is from bottom to top. Okay, students, so this was
Sir,
1 hour of the Excel basics here.
sir, what
Yes,
was
yes.
the answer for the pivot answer?
Pardon, I could not hear you clearly, Dikshit.
So, what was the answer for the pivot question? The third one.
Third one means the what is pivot?
The answer was pivot will do conditional formatting with duplicates, right?
No, 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 no. Pivot will not do the condition. No, I have marked it yellow here. The answer is the right one is option two. Pivot will
Okay, sir.
do, yes, pivot do the pivot remove the duplicates automatically, but it will not do the conditional formatting. Conditional formatting we have to put inside the pivot.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is the right answer. It will obviously remove the duplicates for you, but it will not give you the conditional formatting. Okay. Any more questions, anyone, on this particular topics which we have discussed today? We have discussed many topics and there are more than 2000 Excel functions which you can try. If I have a financial data, you can try many options in there. Many functions are there, formulas.
Sir, uh,
Yes.
basically, I did not have a doubt in what you covered today, but could you briefly cover what if analysis?
Pardon, last word I could not get.
Sir, what if analysis? Could you briefly cover that?
Yes, yes. What if and all other loops and conditions I will cover in the VBA. Don't worry about that. When we will start the VBA, I'll cover all the conditions for you. Don't worry. I just wanted to revise the basics of Excel because before going to VBA, you must have all these things with you. Okay, so let me close this file. I have prepared one more file and I have sent it to Gansham sir. I hope you know Gansham sir, right? He's the coordinator in IAQS.
Yes, sir.
So I have sent him these files. I have told him that please share with the students. So I think today afternoon or by evening he will share it. I had sent it yesterday. Yeah. Okay. So yesterday, do you remember all these things? The W cycle and BODMAS we had discussed, data types we had discussed. Do you remember?
Yes, sir.
Okay, nice. So I'll not go into very much deep in it. We can have a question round on this, in our next class. So in this, basically, there is a oops concept in programming. Do you know what is oops? Any idea of the oops? OOPS.
So,
Okay. OOPS concept is basically object oriented programming system, or you can say language, right? So object means what? What are objects in Excel? Any idea? I think one student has had told me about objects when I was showing you the pivots and graphs. Englishika or some other student had told me. Any idea, student, what is an object in Excel? Can I say a data is an object? Can I say a pivot table is an object? A graph is an object, chart is an object. Okay, many yes are there. Good. Object can be anything, whether it's a value in a cell or a pivot or a graph or anything which you make. Even it can be a button or a shape. I'll go insert shape like this. I'll do make a shape like this. It's an object. Oriented. Oriented means focusing on that particular object. Okay. Programming. Programming, you always know. In programming, we can write our own logic, build our own logic, and system or language. The system is the Excel application. So, OOPS concept, a program which is defined on the OOPS, basically follows four rules. One is abstraction. So, what is abstraction in normal meaning? Yes. What do you understand the word of abstraction in a normal English meaning? Abstract. Okay. Do we all have a same color, skin color,
no,
same hair color?
no,
No, right? Same height?
no, sir.
No, right? So that is abstraction. Abstraction means a difference. Differences between particular set of objects. Okay. Second is encapsulation. What is encapsulation basically? Have you ever taken a capsule from a doctor in your life?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So what is inside that capsule? Capsule is a outer cover. What is inside that capsule? Have you ever thought of it? Inside that capsule, there is a powder, the medicine which is there inside that capsule. So, what exactly is the logic behind putting that powder inside the capsule and then giving it to you? Any idea? Suppose you're a doctor and you are putting that powder inside the capsule. I can give you the powder straight away, right? Why I'm putting that powder inside the capsule and then giving you the capsule? Yes. Or we all have bank accounts, right? So does the bank tell you the charges which will be there in your account unless you ask them? Are you getting my point? What I'm trying to say? Okay. Yes, the precise amount of dose is fine, but what happens is that if I give you powder, then it is difficult to swallow. Correct. So they put it in the form of capsule, and then you just swallow the capsule with the water or any other liquid. So it gets easily swallowed. Basically, the fundamental of encapsulation is basically hiding something, to get the results in our program. Okay. I'll hide a particular thing, a particular object to, yes, correct, Rishika. I'll hide a particular object or a particular value to get to something, some other result value. So this is an encapsulation. So we have abstraction, encapsulation. Third is inheritance. So what is inheritance basically? Any idea about inheritance? I can give you a best example of inheritance is our faces. Inheritance means, for example, our face is a combination of our mother's face and father's face, right? Correct? Either our eyes are matching with our mother or our nose is matching with our father, something like that. Am I right, Rishika, Ishika?
Yes,
Correct?
yes,
Yes.
yes.
So this is the inheritance feature that we get something from our parents. And of course, my children will get something from me that way, which something goes carry forward from one part to other part. This is a kind of uh, functionality in the OOPS. You'll not find any such functionalities in an application which is not based on OOPS. And polymorphism. What exactly is polymorphism? Do you know any idea about it?
Yes.
Polymorphism means a class or a modules. There is one system here we can define like a class or a modules. So class basically I can give you an example of polymorphism is dictionary. Do you know the dictionary, Oxford dictionary? Yes. So in dictionary there are many words in it, right? So whatever particular word meaning I need, I just open the dictionary, I just search it and I get it, right? So this is meaning of polymorphism, that I can define a class and I can pick a particular object from the class, right? It is like that. For example, I am a driver. I know how to drive a car. So will I drive only one car or can I drive all the cars if I have a good practice? Anyone here to answer my question? If I am a driver, will I stick to one car or will I drive all the cars? Yes.
You can, if you have a driving license, you have the right to drive any car. Matlab, you can drive any car you
Yes.
want.
Correct, because if I can drive a small car, I can also drive a big car. What is the difference between small car and big car? Just a parking difference and the turning difference according to the size of the car. Correct. So the same thing is here. Same thing in this concept is there. All these concepts, if you want to learn VBA, all these concepts of programming are based on OOPS, and these concepts are a real life examples. I've given you the many examples in this class, which you can remember. Okay. So these are few things which you need to remember before going ahead with the advanced Excel. I hope I have helped you a lot in revising the Excel, which you might have learnt in your SEM 1 and SEM 2. Okay. So few other things are yesterday which I had told you, the types of errors which we can get in Excel. Has anyone taken around 1 minute to go to Google and search these errors? Ref, value, div, error. Or even if you have worked on Excel anytime, any formula or anything, you might have faced these errors. Yes. Have you faced these errors anytime in Excel? Yes, no, we'll try, maybe. Okay, so what kind of errors did you face? Priyanshu is there. Kshitij is writing many times. He has faced these errors. So what kind of errors did you face? Reference, name, good. So if it is okay, please come on the mic and speak. If your mic is working properly, it'll be easier for me to interact with you. And also please tell the class about these errors if you know about it. What is meaning of hash ref? Why does name comes? Name error comes.
Sir, reference is basically when you have taken the wrong reference for a particular function that you are executing.
Okay. So I can say a reference is a hyperlink error.
Yeah, sir. Yeah.
Okay, good. And about the name, hash name basically, there is one error which I have not
Wrong
written here.
formula.
Yes, wrong formulas, right? Then hash value error basically. What is a hash value? Hash value basically comes like this way. Hash, 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 hash. You will get it like this. It will not tell you a hash value, but it will tell you hash, 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 hash.
The
This way,
column is
many
too
hashes.
small. The cell is too small to fit
A
the.
cell is small, but the data type also is not correct. Then also it gives the hash value. And also it says like this. That means the data type value is not in correct format. If I need a date and time, I must put a date and time there, right? Date and time means date consists what? Day, month, year, and the time. So that is the correct format of the cell. If I put something else, if I put my name in the date and time, it will give the hash value or maybe some other error it can throw. So what is a hash div? Any idea of the hash diff we have learned in maths? Anything which we divide by 0, it gives hash diff. Remember? 2 divided by 0. See, right? Remember hash diff? Anything which you divide by 0 gives hash diff error. So basically in programming, when you learn the advanced Excel, you take the values and everything, you play with the data, calculations, formulas, you have to remember all these things and vice versa. If you get the error, why did you get the error? You know, that way. First is I should not get any error in my formula. So what steps do I take? Second is if I got the error, why did I get the error? What do I do to resolve the error? These are two things which you have to take care. Okay, there are few more errors, that is object not found. Object not found means one particular object which I am giving it as a target is not found in the Excel application. Okay. For example, here is a sheet 3. So can I target sheet 4 here? Yes. Can I target a sheet 4 in my program? Anyone? Yes, no? Yes, I have only one sheet here. So can I target a second sheet in my program
No,
or a
no, no.
third sheet? No, right? Because sheet does not exist. So it will give me object missing. Then is range not found. Can you tell me where do we use ranges? Do I use range in a formula? Do I use range in a pivot cell in a chart? Right? So the range also plays a very important role. So if any value is missing in the range, it will say range not found here. For example, I told you that in the first row in Excel, you must have headers. So in the header, if any header is missing, then that particular formula or a particular pivot or a chart will not get that column or a range. So the error will come as range not found. And vice versa. If I get the error range not found, I must be able to understand that error and solve it immediately. Same with object undefined. So what is an object undefined basically? Object undefined means a missing object basically or a empty value, right? For example, 2 plus x. What is the result of 2 plus x? Anyone? Do you know the result of 2 plus x? No, right? Why? Because x is undefined. If I define x as 2, I'll get 2 plus 2 equal to 4. So any object, any variable which you use must be defined in your VBA application, a program, or logic. Otherwise, you can face the error. And the next is out of bounds error. This is a very common error which we get in our applications or even I get in a gaming application. Anyone here who plays a game, online game or offline game, any car game or any game, anytime you have encountered this error out of bounds? Yes, anyone here? Out of bounds error? Not really. Okay. So out of bounds error usually come in arrays. Have you heard about arrays in your school college days? Yes. So in array we defined a particular indices. So if that particular array is not there in the particular collection of the elements, then you get out of bound error. Okay. Basically, these all are the empty or missing objects errors which are there, and you can encounter it in the formulas and the charts. Okay. And other thing is, if you remember, I have made one more table here. Bits, bytes, kilobyte. Have you heard about these terms?
Yes.
Yeah. See, one bit is means 0 or ones, which is a boolean. Then one byte is 8 bits. 1 kilobyte is 1000 bytes. See how much data we can store in 1 KB. 1 MB, see here how much data we can store. 1 GB, which is multiplied by 1000. 1 TB, now it's petabyte now in big servers. And these are the examples of these bits and bytes, the devices, the floppy disk. Have you seen a floppy disk, anyone? Anyone, have you seen a floppy disk or a tape drive?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's nice because floppy disks are vanished nowadays. They are not seen. It's a very small disk of 1.45 MB. Then you have CDs and DVDs right now, today's date, right? And then you have some ultraviolet disk also, which are more in size, hard disk, SATA disks, and your WD drives, portable drives. So the technology is emerging basically, but the basics of the technology is the same. If you know the basics, you can go, you will be the king and queen of that particular application. If you remember the basics. Okay. So today, basically, we have learned a lot about Excel basics. And in the next lecture, I think the next lecture might be in the new year only. Floppy disks are now inbuilt in laptops. Basically, floppy disk, I have a laptop, but I cannot see a floppy disk drive here inside. I can see a CDD, DVD drive. I can see the USB ports here. I can see the HDMI port here. I don't think so anyone is using a floppy disk in today's date, right? But no problem, students. You can always get back to me. You can take my number from the institute and always get back to me. And if you see a floppy disk in 2022, please let me know because I have not seen floppy disk since quite some time. Yes, I was in my school days, college days, where we used to take the data on the floppy disk. But now we all use pen drives and mostly I keep my data in Google Drive. I also do not need any CD or DVD. Am I right? You might all be using the same. Mark me present. I think I'm not here, right? Rishika. Okay. Marked. Anyone here left who wants to mark as present? Welcome, welcome, Rishika. But I really, understanding that if your mic is working, then why don't you speak rather than chatting so many messages? No problem. So I'm happy to see the 50% attendance today. Again, 51%. Really good. Okay. So these were the few basic points here which we have discussed today. And from next class, I will start with the programming, advanced Excel. And I hope you practice these few points of basic Excel. You go to Google, you see the forums, study the online page on the Google, and just try to make some charts, some pivots, and any help you need, you can contact me via the institute, via Gansham sir. Okay. For today, we'll end up the class here. Hope you have a good day and hope you remember the things which I have taught you today and do a revision.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Thank
Welcome,
Thank you,
you,
sir.
sir.
welcome,
Bye,
welcome,
sir.
Thank
Thank
you, sir.
you.
welcome, welcome. Have a good day and a happy new year to all of you. Hare
Happy New
Krishna.
Year,
Happy New Year to
sir.
you too, sir.
Happy New Year, sir.
Thank you, thank you. Bye.